Hey everybody, it's THump here. Is Deadlock dying? This is a question that I've been seeing a lot across Reddit, Twitter, Twitch. Hell, it's even been asked in my own Twitch channel recently. Now, I am a negative person, but in this video, I'm going to try to shed some positivity on the game, where I think it currently is, what I think the devs are doing, and where I see the game going in the future. So first things first, we are going to look at a dead game, an actual dead game. I'm going to show you the differences between this, talk about this a little bit, and show you the differences between this, Deadlock, and H1Z1 Battle Royale, which is the game that I originally came from, which died a murderous death. So you can see here, it was 2016, the player base built up, it had 86,000 average players, 150,000 peak, and then it slowly died out. The difference is, this game had a fully fledged out ranking system, had a massive skins market where people were selling thousands and thousands of skins. It had gambling websites. People were selling golden backpacks for $50,000. One of my teammates sold his account for $125,000. This community was really massive. It had full esports scene. It had TSM was an org. Echo Fox. I'm trying to think of all the orgs that... a lot of them are dead now. LG, Luminosity Gaming was in there. So this game had all of these things already fully done. Ranking system was done. All of things that Deadlock still does not have. Deadlock does not have skins, which I think are going to be massive. You can dress up your favorite Vindicta skin in whatever bikini you want or whatever. I think that's going to be really huge for the game. They just came out with their ranking system. A lot of people haven't been able to play the game in duos and stuff like that. So Deadlock still has a lot of systems. The esports are really young. There's only $1,000 tournaments right now, and I'll talk about that into the future as well. I think esports is going to be really big for Deadlock and important for its growth initially. With that being said, let's go over and look at Deadlock. Deadlock had 171,000 peak players, so this is whenever Shroud in the game initially launched. It was Shroud, Summit, all of the massive streamers. A lot of them are coming over to play the game, to check it out, see what it's all about, and then they leave, and people's interest leaves, and then over time, you get down here to 45,000 players. Sorry, it's peak players of 45,000. A lot of people are panicked about this chart because it just continues to trend downward, and this is where the question comes from. Another positive thing to look at when you do look at this downward chart is that there's been zero advertising for Deadlock. The announcement that the game was streamable was just done in Discord. It's almost like the devs don't even care to have a player base right now. In order to get into the game, you have to be invited, which is a massive barrier. A lot of people, I know this is surprising, but a lot of people don't have friends that have the game that can invite them, so they can't even test the game. So it's a massive barrier entry there to get new people to come into the game, because just having to do one extra step in your life, that's a lot. Like, even me as a person, doing one extra thing, oh man, that's a tough ask. So a lot of people say, oh, I have to get an invite for it. Yeah, I'm not doing that. There's no way. So I think the devs currently are not worried about the player count. I don't think it's something they're concerned with. There's been zero advertisement for the game at all, besides when the game was initially released, but they didn't pay Shroud and they didn't pay Summit and all these other large streamers to stream the game. This was all just naturally done. And I think over time, once the game gets more characters, once the bugs are really squashed down, you'll see a return, especially whenever they come out with larger and larger patches as they get closer to fully releasing the game. You'll get a lot of hype back into the game, and people will return. I think the devs are adding these restrictions, having to invite people and no advertisement at all. I really think they just want to get a lot of data. And I saw this in a YouTube video. A guy was talking about this, but he was talking about how the devs are just trying to get data right now. They're constantly changing the earn locations. They're changing so much stuff. Every patch, it's just nothing but nonstop text that takes me an hour and a half to read because I'm from Mississippi and have a terrible education. And it just continues and continues and continues. They're doing massive changes nonstop because the game is an alpha. It's still very early. I don't think people really appreciate how early this game still is. It's going to be a while until this game is fully released. There are not a lot of characters in the game at all whatsoever for a traditional MOBA. So right now, they're just collecting data. They're trying to fix their ranking system, which people have been complaining about a lot. I understand. I get it. A lot of people have been complaining about the ranking system. They're trying to get data for it to fix it. They're trying to get data for these characters so that they can set them up, they can be balanced, be ready to go, and then they don't have to worry about them for a bit while they release new characters. Because MOBAs need a lot of characters. It makes the game more fun. You get pick ban phase, which adds a lot of strategy to the game. So there's still more skill coming to the game. Pick ban. Ooh, it's going to be so fun. Very excited for it. Again, I don't really think people know how early Deadlock still is. I'm shocked that they even let us play. Normally, alpha games are maybe a weekend and they gather data and then they stop. And then they'll come back in a month and they'll do another alpha invite or whatever where people can play. And then they take the game down again. They are just leaving this game up as an alpha for you to play it as much as possible, which in my opinion is a huge positive. Because they're getting a lot of information. They're going to be able to better balance the game. I love it. These games, the ones that it can be most compared to in the MOBA category, League of Legends and Dota 2, they have 168 and 126 characters. Deadlock has 19 currently, with 7, I believe, being worked on right now. There is a ton of content coming down the pipeline for this game. It is so early, and people need to understand that. There's going to be people that are going to be leaving the game. They don't care about the player base. They're caring about they care about working on the game and getting it fully fleshed out so they can release it probably within the next year, if I had to guess. Another positive thing is that the game is backed by Valve. They have money. They have time to work through these things to make the game as best as it possibly can be. You know they're not going to be rushed by Gaben to ship out regurgitated garbage like Call of Duty. So giving a development team time, not pressuring them, I think these are really good things. They'll be able to test things out and create a better experience for everybody. With all that being said, let's finish up by talking about where I see Deadlock going into the future. Now, a lot of this, warning, is going to be hot takes. A lot of this is my dream world, my ideal scenario, what I would want to see happening. Obviously, just continue to develop the game at the pace that you're doing. I like the 2 weeks, changing the game pretty massively. Keep collecting data, releasing new characters. Okay, and a year from now, once you have 50, let's say 50, 60 characters, 40, whatever you want to do, you have your rank system implemented, you have skins implemented, you have a finished version of the map that you really like. We have 3 pick bans per team, 3 character bans, so I can ban Infernus over and over and over. Then we have an international style event like Dota 2 did. Dota 2 had an event once they had 46 heroes, so look for somewhere around there. And then your massive ad campaign begins. You have the international. You pay massive streamers to watch. You have a $5 million prize pool. And we see Vegas and Leffa and Mikhail S. walk into land, wherever they want to do in New York City, whatever. And then Gaben himself is at the first ever Dota event. You have all these streamers that after the event's over, you pay them to play the game. It's going to bring back a ton of players. You're going to see all these players are going to get into the skin system that you already have developed. Reward them with treasure chests. Get them addicted to gambling again, and then that will be your massive reintroduction of player bases to the game. Hopefully, those players stick around. The game is in a really good spot, and it continues to skyrocket in popularity. And that's pretty much it. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me. I do stream every day, twitch.tv/THump. So if you would like some more Deadlock content, I'm always grinding it. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you guys.